Hello and welcome to yet another inspiring episode of Diaspora Network, where we celebrate Nigerians making significant strides all across the world. I'm Mayowa Adegoke. On today's program, we take a closer look at Nigerians championing community advocacy. Our guest is Uche Okugo, an experienced project management, finance and business leader who's passionate about community endeavors, inclusion and diversity. Before we get into all that, let's take a look at news from the diaspora.
Can I first of all welcome the leader of the opposition? I wish you well as leader of the opposition. I now call Dame Caroline Dinenage.
Nigerian-born Kemi Badenoch has emerged victorious in the race to succeed Rishi Sunak as UK Conservative Party leader. The 44-year-old came out tops in the two-horse race with former Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick winning 57% of the votes of party members. She describes being appointed leader as an enormous honor and pledges to hold the Labour government to account. Badenoch was born in London but spent much of her childhood in Nigeria. She becomes the first black woman to lead a major UK political party.
The US is our single biggest trade partner. Given the risk of increased tariffs on UK exports, which threaten our manufacturing sector, will the Prime Minister commit now to continue the negotiations on our free trade agreement with the US, which the Biden administration cancelled when they came into office?
She is one of 3 children born to Nigerian parents. Her father, Dr. Olufemi Adegoke, was a medical veteran, and her mother, Feyi Adegoke, a professor of physiology in America and at the University of Lagos.
Mr. Speaker, can I thank the Prime Minister for his almost warm welcome? And can I also echo the comments that he has made? It is an immense privilege and the honor of my life to lead the Conservative Party. And I look forward to joining him at the Cenotaph this Remembrance Sunday.
It's a big joy for us, and we were so glad.
Colorado Springs in the United States has welcomed its first ever Nigerian restaurant and lounge, Owambe, run by owner Adeton, her brother Adejumobi, and husband Daniel. The siblings are proud immigrants from Nigeria who told the local media that there's a huge need for African food within the community, especially Nigerian cuisine. Adejumobi said the renovations have taken several months and a lot of hard work is put into creating the downtown restaurant's beautiful interior. Owambe, a Yoruba term, means presence of a celebration or party which the owners wanted to bring to their new business venture. The restaurant, which is now officially open, will be serving food and drinks from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Scotland-based epidemiologist and pharmacist Yusuf Adebisi has received funding support from German researcher the Robert Koch Institute in collaboration with Germany's Ministry of Health. The 27-year-old, who graduated with a master's in global health science and epidemiology from Oxford University last year, is currently working as a researcher and consultant for several organizations, including the Scottish Centre for Administrative Data Research and University of Glasgow. As an undergraduate, he wrote and published over 50 peer-reviewed articles, which awarded him the Diana Award in 2021. Yusuf has written several research articles on disease and illness and said this support will allow him to conduct study focused on understanding current responses to antimicrobial resistance in West Africa, with a particular emphasis on advancing equity across the region. He has previously said that while these achievements serve as motivation and inspiration to many young people, he sees it more as the beginning of a lifelong purpose, advancing science and health research in Africa and beyond. 5 players of Nigerian descent have emerged as this year's Next Generation 60 most promising young talents in football, according to UK-based publication The Guardian. They are Austrian midfielder Kenneth Dejanogure, who is being closely watched by several clubs, including Manchester United, Borussia Dortmund, and Milan, and is already becoming a first-team regular. Copenhagen-born Chido Obi Martin, who has been done a scoring machine, netting 10 goals in a single game for Arsenal under-16s last year. Germany's left-footed attacking midfielder Francis Onyeka, who has been playing football since the age of 7, is widely considered Germany's brightest prospect in his age group. Central midfielder Daniel Dager, who is already a captain of Eimba and was his country's youngest player at the 2023 Under-20 World Cup, is expected to make a move to Europe next year with an interest in Watford and Molde. And Marvin Akaome, who made his top division debut for Basel in April 2023 at just 15, becoming the third youngest player in Swiss football history. And the football world is eagerly awaiting their next moves.
Human capacity, economic and leadership development are some of the impacts of community building, and many Nigerians have proven to be masters of this trait. In our special report, we bring you stories of Nigerians who are flying the flag of the nation in this regard.
Nigeria, Africa's most populous country with more than 300 ethnic groups, over 500 languages and diverse cultures, exhibiting unique art that extends far beyond its borders. With a population of over 200 million, Nigeria has become increasingly involved in international migration, and this translates to a widespread Nigerian diaspora, especially in the US, UK, Canada, UAE, Germany, and Italy. One of the ways the Nigerian diaspora community maintains connection with their home country is through creation of diaspora organizations, professional networks, and informal social groups. Through consistent engagements, these unions provide avenues for communities to maintain social bonds, boost welfare of members, especially new immigrants, portray the positive image and cultural values of Nigerian people, and promote bilateral relations between Nigeria and other countries. From building to pioneering Nigerian communities abroad, many have established organizations and associations that serve as hubs for social, cultural, and economic activities. One of the many organizations dedicated to promoting and preserving the culture and heritage of people of Nigerian and African descent in the United States is the Nigerian American Multi-Service Association, NAMSA, a non-profit organization based in Boston, Massachusetts. The association provides a supportive environment through networking opportunities that help Nigerians adapt and thrive. It also celebrates the contributions of Nigerian Americans in the U.S. through collective action. The group creates partnerships that promote inclusive and lasting socio-economic progress, advocacy, and philanthropy. The Nigerian American Multicultural Council is another group that is committed to building a unified, vibrant, and empowered community of Nigerians in America. The organization promotes excellence in career and business, expands horizons through education, mentorship, and civic engagement while sharing the richness of African arts and culture in the U.S. The Nigerian Association of Western Australia, NAWA, is also devoted to building a body that generates pride in the Nigerian culture, history, and achievements. NAWA is also committed to creating a community that teaches Nigerian children in Australia their native language through this medium. Many Nigerian immigrants in the country are developing a strong voice within the larger Australian community and gaining opportunities for personal and professional growth. These groups and many more organizations and individuals are fostering stronger bonds amongst Nigerians in diaspora and driving a wholesome narrative of the people.
Now let's turn our attention to our guest, Uche Okugo, an investment attraction coordinator, economic developer, community leader, and business advisor.
It still holds true today, as it was then, that technology is a disruptive tool for leadership, good governance and change, and how Nigerians in diaspora can be part of the move to utilize technology for our goods. This is still work in progress. It is important to note that in this 21st century, despite advancement in all frontiers and sectors, Technology mostly refers to communications, as social media have disrupted the print and broadcast media space. It has become an indispensable tool, but like any tool, it depends on the user and their intentions.
Uche Okugo is a social entrepreneur, founder and president of the Network of Nigerians in Canada, a non-profit organization dedicated to championing diversity and inclusion by building a community that recognizes and takes advantage multiculturalism of Canada through activities and programs that enhance human capacity for economic and leadership development. He hails from Arochukwu, Abia State, southwest Nigeria, and resides in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, where he's part of some pioneering community endeavors, including a proclamation by the city of Brampton recognizing June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day and a flag-raising ceremony at Queen's Park, the seat of the Ontario Legislative Assembly, to commemorate Nigeria's Independence Day. He is a member of the Brampton Mayor's Black Advisory Council, a past president of the City of Brampton Toastmasters Club, and a past president of the Rotary Club of Brampton. He recently joined the board of William Osler Health System Foundation as a director to contribute to the efforts at building Brampton's second hospital and a cancer dialysis center for Brampton Civic Hospital.
The city of Brampton, over the past couple of years, have had a focus to encourage viable businesses from these regions to expand their businesses into the North American market. That happens to be the largest market in the world. And the foreign direct investment market is evaluated to be over $1 trillion worth, and over half of these actually happens in the North American market. So we look for viable businesses from either Africa or the Caribbean markets, and we encourage them to expand into North America using Brampton as their launchpad. If your business is already anywhere in Canada, we can also support you to come into Brampton if you desire. We have what we call the Brampton Entrepreneur Center. Their focus is to help businesses that are in Canada be established in Brampton. And while doing that, we also have the sector managers that can help them do that as well.
Uche has an extensive educational background, including a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, a master's degree in business administration, a certificate in leadership and strategy, a diploma in financial trading and investment, and a certificate in advancing economic development from the University of Waterloo. He is a recipient of the Most Influential People of African Descent, 100 Most Influential People in Export and Trade, a recipient of the preponderant Top 25 People Shaping Canada-Africa Relations, and a recipient of the prestigious Certificate in Advancing Economic Development from the University of Waterloo. He currently works in the Economic Development Office of the City of Brampton as Investment Attraction Coordinator, Africa and Caribbean Market. He has worked with industry thought leaders, relevant organizations, and government representatives from the AU and CARICOM, a group of 20 countries in the Caribbean. Uche's goal is to consistently work towards changing the narrative to uplift the Nigerian community. Uche is happily married with a son.
When we return, he shares his journey about growing up in Nigeria to life in Canada, where he's making remarkable strides. Please stay with us.
My journey is pretty much centered around the fact that from time to time, one should take a self-evaluation of where they are, or where they want to be, and what needs to be done to get them there. I call it my personal SWOT analysis. So back in 2014, I did a personal SWOT analysis, and it was prompted by the fact that a couple of friends had relocated from Nigeria. Some went to school, some got work permits and relocated as well. One of them in particular relocated to Canada for work. And he was just telling me about the opportunities that existed and how, it fits my profile as a professional, because my background was civil engineering. And so I just went online based on information he shared with me and looked up some things about Canada, because really I hadn't heard about Canada before. I wasn't really in that space. But what I found was interesting. As at then, they were just going to be starting a new express entry program where professionals that qualify through the skilled worker program would be brought into Canada as permanent residents. And I've always, wanted to be legit, in quotes, just do something that will enable my opportunities better and faster. And so I just registered to get information once the program started in 2015. And from January 1, 2015, the program started. They shared information about the Express Entry Skilled Worker Program. I went online, applied for it because I was qualified. And all that process just began. For me, then, it was just a case of seeing an opportunity and taking advantage of it. Fast forward to 2018, everything worked out fine. The whole process was done, applications and documentation. And by March of 2018, I relocated to Canada under that program as a permanent resident. And when I look back, I don't regret the process. It was something that I thought was good to be done then. Of course, if time is taken back again, it's something I will do again. Because like I said, I saw an opportunity, it fit my profile, I fit in as well, and then I took advantage of it. So that's just a summary of my journey, of how I came into Canada. So the one thing that migrating to Canada may not tell you effectively are certain challenges you will encounter. And once you land here and begin to encounter the challenges, there may not be 100% resources or information that is readily available to you. Myself, my family, a couple of friends, we had that challenge as well. And once we got here, we needed to get accommodation, get a job, get more information, have access to resources, even network within our own immediate community, which is the Nigerian community. All that were not information that was readily available. And so for some of us, we struggled to settle in. And then later, I told my friends, I said, now that we are beginning to settle in, it may make some sense to set up something that will make it easier for those coming after us to onboard as new immigrants. And so the first thing I did was just gather people. There was no name, there was no program per se. Just let's meet and share information about real estate. Because the major challenge was accommodation. So at that time it was a big deal. And so we got a broker of record to talk to us about the real estate business, so that some of us can find it easy to get accommodation or even own homes. That was successful, and this was in 2018 in December. So by 2019, me and my friends, talked about something more. And so we started then what was known as Nigerians in the GTA. And while planning all that, we said we need traction. And traction in this sense is for us to have visibility, for people to very easily know us. And I thought about the fact that, what if we involve the government? Let's do something with the government and publicize it. They do the same thing as well. And so we did the first proclamation for the Nigerian community. It started in the city of Brampton. And once that was done, it was successful. People got to know about us, people engaged, and we hit the ground running. And down the line, we had a strategic session that led to us changing the name from Nigerians in the GTA to Network of Nigerians in Canada. And, since then, we've been having programs, members onboarding, support structure, collaboration, effective partnerships. And we've been engaging in review of our programs, policies and procedures as well, just so that we are relevant, we are up to date, and we are meeting expectations of the community. If you probably ask the immigrants to Canada, say 10, 15, 20 years back, they might have a different impression. It wasn't exactly popular, and this was, again, a function of the number of Nigerians as at that time and the activities of Nigerians as at that time. So it's different now because Nigerians in the active space, not for profit, support structure, engagements, you name it. Our activities now are very strategic. So you have people not just doing the usual, bring Nigerians together, have a social function, and just get to know ourselves. NNC, my organization, for example, alongside a couple of other organizations, are beginning to have collaborative activities. So we're not just having activities for and with and by the Nigerian community. collaboration. We're involving other communities. We're involving the private sector, the public sector. We are getting to hold activities that are sustainable, that are consistent. We're engaging grants, people, sponsorships, vendors. So the events you see now in the community are so broad, are so all-encompassing. So it's different. The reception is better because people are beginning to have the Nigerian experience. So, for example, in 2020, when we had our first Niger Fest event as Network of Nigerians in Canada, we started off with the food drive. So a day before the event, we had jollof rice and puff puff taken out to the community, and it was eaten by different people. And the reception was awesome. Some people were having it for the first time. Some people already have heard about the Nigerian culture, and they were just happy to be, experiencing it again. In fact, one person that we met didn't only eat jollof rice for the first time. He said, we should just hold on. He brought out his cell phone and played the music. It was Fela. And he was dancing to it appropriately. And he was excited about experiencing the culture another time, like an opportunity. So it's beginning to change because we're getting people involved. They now know that there's a lot to understand about the culture. And we're lucky also to be in a country that is really big on diversity, equity, and inclusion, really big on cultural experience. And so it makes it easy for us to engage and actually get success out of it. So if I'm to rate the reception out of, a band of 10, I'd say 9. Because even people are beginning to want to engage us as well. There's been personal achievements and collective achievements. Personal in the sense that, I founded an organization that has become quite a brand in Canada right now. I would say Network of Nigerians in Canada. I've started something pretty innovative, and a couple of organizations have tapped out of it in collaboration, in partnership, and it's expanding. So a lot of things happening has NNC's footprint on it. I thank my team for working with me on that. Personally, also, as the founder, it's quite an achievement because you can tell me a pretty new immigrant to Canada. This is under 7 years. Also in the not-for-profit space, big time. I'm a member of Rotary Club of Brampton, which is part of Rotary International. I have served my club as a president, and I was the first president of Black Origin. I am moving on the structure also to serve as district governor for District 7080 that has about 44 Rotary clubs and 1,500 members. Again, I will be the first district governor of Black Origin. I'm also into some boards and initiatives that are pretty unique. I serve on the board of the William Osler Hospital System Foundation, and that is unique as a director. I also serve on the committee for Black communities. It's an initiative for the medical school at the Toronto Metropolitan University. I'm also part of the committee that's working on the initiative for foreign students, how to reevaluate their experience and engage the government to make it better. Because as you may know, that space is becoming very contentious as well. Collectively, also as a community, what we have achieved changing the narratives or contributing to changing the narratives of Nigeria in Canada has been quite successful. For the first time, we don't just engage government successfully, we have them very willing to engage us as well. So I would say, this is like a summary of what I would term my achievements. And next steps will actually be to take collaboration to the next level. Collaboration is still pretty new in the Nigerian community space, but it's something that we are using results to communicate to the broader community to show that we're not just talking about it. Okay? It's not just one person's idea and the person wants to be selfish with it. It's an idea that will work for all of us once we can come together and truly paint a big picture for us to, have a future in Canada, and not just a space at the table, but bringing something to the table and having people buy into it successfully as well.
And that's it. Another inspiring and exciting edition of Diaspora Network, where we bring you amazing stories of Nigerians making their mark on the global stage. To find more stories, do visit our YouTube channel or website at www.channelstv.com. I'm Mayowa Adegoke. Bye for now.